ever felt like your entire world wasn't just turning upside down, but specifically tilting sideways?
Like a perfectly balanced tray of pastries about to crash.
Exactly. And then boom, in that same chaotic moment, you find out your best friend, well, she's eloped.
With the person you thought was your soulmate.
Right. And then just as you're, processing that absolute gut punch.
The oven explodes. Metaphorically, I hope.
Yeah, metaphorically. It belches black smoke anyway, and your phone shatters.
Shatters, distorting the honeymoon picture, right? Valyria's perfect beach photo.
Perfect distortion, which felt appropriate somehow, as the text says. It's just total meltdown.
Personal and professional all at once.
Precisely. Now, what if I told you that profound insights, like real universal truths, they aren't just found in, academic journals or those dense research papers.
Okay. I think I see where you're going with this.
But sometimes, right there, in a chaotic, flower-dusted moment like that one.
It's an intriguing idea, isn't it? We look for wisdom in, well, the expected places, libraries, lecture halls.
Sure.
But maybe some of the most potent truths about human and, okay, in this case, wolf nature, community dynamics, personal growth, maybe they're beautifully camouflaged.
Camouflaged within stories we consume for, pure entertainment.
Exactly. You might be thinking a werewolf romance for a deep dive. And that's kind of the point we want to make today.
Yeah, we're challenging that idea, that assumption about where knowledge comes from.
We're suggesting that sometimes the most powerful lessons about tradition versus modernity, individual desires versus community bonds, how love can bloom in chaos, they're woven into these narratives.
Even narratives with shapeshifters and pack dynamics.
Especially then, maybe. Because despite the fantasy, they often mirror very real human experiences. Stories can distill complex things, give us shortcuts to understand resilience, community, personal growth.
All through character journeys and the pressures they face, even in a fictional world.
Yeah.
Okay, so today, we're embarking on a deep dive like no other. Our source material isn't a government report. It's not a scientific study.
Yep.
It's an excerpt from a werewolf shifter romantic comedy audiobook transcript. Title, claimed by the Alpha Next Door from Shelfie Publishing.
Catchy title.
Isn't it? And our mission is to unearth those nuggets of knowledge, the surprising insights hidden inside this, well, seemingly lighthearted tale.
It's about seeing how these stories can pack a punch, how they grapple with real themes.
So settle in. We're inviting you, our listener, to join us as we dissect this compelling story.
Think of yourself as the third person right here in the conversation with us.
Yeah, we'll explore the rich details, the surprising depth in this seemingly simple tale. We want to help you become well-informed on its underlying themes, the character journeys.
Get ready for some flowers, some fate.
And some faked futures that turn out to be anything but fake. Let's dive in. Okay, let's start by painting the picture of Camila's world, because the opening scene, it just throws our protagonist, Camila Morales, into this multi-front assault.
Right. It's 5:30 a.m. She's in her family bakery, Pandaluna.
A place steeped in generations of tradition. You can feel it.
Absolutely. She's got a fresh tray of pastelitos. The air smells like cinnamon, vanilla. It's her routine, her legacy, her bedrock.
And what's immediately clear, I think, is that for Camila, the bakery isn't just like a job.
No way. It's the beating heart of the Morales women's history. It's where the pack gathers. It's tied up with her whole identity.
Which perfectly sets up the clash, right? The interconnectedness of her personal and professional struggle.
Exactly. Because then the world implodes.
Her phone buzzes. It's Valyria, her best friend, someone she's known since they were pups, learning to control their first shifts together. Deep history there.
Very deep. And a quick Instagram check just delivers this gut punch.
A photo. Valyria's hand, huge diamond ring, pressed against Antonio's smiling lips.
Antonio, the guy Camille thought was hers.
Yep. And the caption, surprise we eloped, just married forever, love mate for life. Ouch.
Oof. Yeah. And Camila's world doesn't just tilt, it shatters. Literally.
Her phone screen cracks, perfectly mirroring her fractured reality. And the oven.
The temperamental oven. It belches black smoke like it's feeling her distress, too.
It's such a visceral depiction of heartbreak, isn't it?
Totally. And that shattering phone screen, it's a brilliant symbol. Not just a broken device, but a broken reality. An external sign of her internal devastation.
And this isn't happening in a vacuum either. The story hints Pandaluna is already struggling.
Right. Competing with the trendy avocado toast place and the artisanal coffee shop, relying on pack loyalty, the regulars.
There's that mention from Don Miguel, too, about the pack needing a celebration, it being too quiet.
Yeah, that hints at a broader community tension, maybe.
Yeah.
An unspoken need for joy, which just highlights how important the bakery is as a community hub.
Right, so the financial strain is already there. It's a pre-existing condition before the emotional bombshell drops.
And then, bam, the immediate follow-up crisis.
Santos, the building owner, shows up.
With news about California developers wanting to buy the building.
But doubling the rent. In 90 days.
90 days. That's impossible.
And Antonio, the now eloped ex, had apparently promised to invest, a promise unfulfilled.
Of course he did.
So Camila just feels like she's losing everything. It's a perfect storm.
Personal betrayal, financial ruin, and a direct threat to her family's legacy all at once.
It really makes you wonder, how does someone find resilience when their identity is so wrapped up in their traditions and those traditions are under attack like this?
That's such a crucial question here. Because for someone like Camila, so deeply rooted in her community and her heritage, resilience isn't just an individual thing, is it?
No, it feels like it has to be communal.
Exactly. Her ability to cope, or maybe her initial inability to cope, it's directly tied to that external support system. The insight here, I think, is that resilience can be a shared resource.
Like a collective wisdom.
Yeah, the wisdom of those who've already bent and not broken. Like her abuela says later, it's not just comfort, it's like a tactical guide when your own compass is just spinning wildly. A blueprint for survival.
And that blueprint, that communal resource, it arrives right on cue.
In the form of Don Miguel and Abuela Gloria.
Don Miguel first, with his unbearable compassion. And he offers this really profound piece of wisdom.
About matches. Some look perfect but don't burn right. Others seem unlikely but create the strongest flames. Foreshadowing, perhaps?
Definitely feels like it, but then he gives her this critical, practical instruction.
You need to bake.
You Morales women always did your best thinking with flour on your hands.
That's more than just a comforting cliche, isn't it? It's grounding her immediately in her family's heritage. It's a practical coping mechanism.
Right, baking isn't just the business.
It's like active meditation for them, a way to process overwhelming emotion through something tangible, familiar, deeply rooted. Gives her purpose when everything else feels like chaos.
And just as Camila's distress is escalating, her wolf threatening an involuntary shift.
Which is a fascinating detail, showing the physical manifestation of her emotional state.
In walks Abuela Gloria, swept into the bakery like a queen.
Sensing the trouble without a word. That pack intuition.
And she masterfully redirects Santos, the landlord, protecting Camila without needing any explanation. It's subtle, but so powerful. Matriarchal power in action.
The pack bond is just palpable there.
Yeah.
Gloria says she felt it. Where their pack bond resided like a thunderstorm brewing. That's intense.
And her comfort isn't just words, it's guiding Camila's breathing. Feel my heart match your rhythm to mine, calming her wolf.
It highlights the depth of their connection. It's not abstract advice. It's rooted in their specific pack dynamics, their cultural heritage. Wisdom passed down through tangible acts, deep bonds. It anchors you.
Yeah, it shows that strength often comes from connection, not just trying to tough it out alone.
Definitely. And Gloria doesn't pull any punches about the situation either.
No, she's blunt about Antonio and Valyria. Antonio Vega was never worthy of you. And Valyria, a true friend doesn't steal your dreams. Direct.
But then she delivers that powerful declaration, the core theme for the Morales women. Morales women bend, but we don't break.
It's a rallying cry, a statement of endurance, of resilience.
And right after that, she pivots to strategy. Her wisdom about the moon never shows all her faces at once. It gives Camila that tiny spark of hope.
It's not just emotional support, it's strategic guidance. Gloria's immediately thinking about those California developers.
She's already connecting the personal pain to the larger communal threat, hinting at a proactive approach. The wheels are turning.
So looking at this whole opening section, Camila pivots from total despair to a glimmer of hope.
Almost entirely fueled by her elders, by the pack.
It's like a masterclass in how community and tradition can be a lifeline when your individual strength is just gone.
It really highlights the value of that intergenerational knowledge, that collective support system.
It's a powerful testament, I think, to the idea that our struggles are rarely just our own, especially in these tight-knit communities.
Absolutely. The wisdom of those who've already navigated storms serves as a compass for the younger generation. It offers comfort, sure, but also concrete ways forward. That collective strength is a deep well of resilience.
Okay, so just as Camila is starting to, pick up the pieces.
Or at least gather the flour.
Right. Another challenge, or maybe a very unexpected opportunity, walks right through her bakery door.
Well, moves in next door, technically.
Right. We find out Mateo Rios, her childhood adversary, is opening his Connect Me hub right next to Pandaluna.
And Camila's reaction is immediate dismissal.
Totally. Probably some tech thing where people sit around drinking $8 lattes and talking about disruptive paradigms or whatever. You can just hear the eye roll.
What's striking, though, is how the story immediately starts to subvert that expectation.
How so?
Well, Camila sees him entirely through the lens of their childhood history. He was an annoying boy who turned into an arrogant man. A champion hair puller and practical joker.
Classic childhood nemesis stuff.
But the narrative quickly chips away at that. It sets up this fundamental question. Can the new, this tech billionaire, representing everything threatening Little Havana's traditions, actually coexist with the old?
Or is it just destined for conflict? Can he have any genuine connection to this place?
Exactly. And then he arrives at the bakery. Impeccably dressed, of course.
Yet
another suit, charcoal this time.
Holding his flour-dusted jacket from an earlier run-in with that infuriating half smile.
And his demand. Audacious doesn't even cover it.
$3,000 for dry cleaning. For his handmade Italian wool limited edition jacket.
It's the perfect antagonist setup, right?
Yeah.
Designed purely to provoke.
It seems that way. But then
the subversion deepens. He shows his unexpected softness, a genuine interest in the bakery.
He remembers coming there with his tia as a kid.
Yeah, and there's that note of unexpected sincerity in his voice when he says, "Nothing tastes quite like home."
That humanizes him immediately, doesn't it? Reveals this hidden layer of nostalgia, a connection to the very traditions Camila cherishes.
It's a strategic move by the narrative, I think, complicating our initial judgment, making us question.
And this is where it really sparks. The classic enemies to lovers trope kicks in.
But layered, right, with pack dynamics, cultural clashes.
It's not just two individuals, it's two worlds colliding. Old Miami tradition versus new tech ambition.
And that collision literally explodes at the Cayo Festival.
Oh, the flower incident, yes. Camila's desperate, can't sell her pastries, sees Mateo's insufferable smirk.
And in a moment of pure, unadulterated frustration,
she dumps an entire bag of flour over his perfectly styled hair and expensive suit.
It's beautiful chaos, so cathartic for her.
You can just feel the release of all that pent-up stress and anger.
But Mateo's reaction is the key thing here.
Right, not outrage.
No, shock, disbelief then, something else. The text says, appreciative, impressed.
And that wild, challenging gaze, the implied threat, when I catch you.
It completely flips the power dynamic. It signals something deeper than just annoyance. He's not angry, he's fascinated. Which totally disarms Camila, I think.
And of course, Elena, Camila's cousin, the savvy one.
Phone out, recording, naturally.
The video goes viral. Instantly, Elena's excited. 50,000 views and climbing. Camila is officially Miami famous.
And the comments are amazing. Is the flour included or extra? That baker has more fire than my abuela's hot sauce.
And half of Miami is suddenly shipping them. That's internet slang, right? For wanting two people to get together romantically.
Yep. They're dubbed the baker and the billionaire.
So this viral video, it's not just a funny plot point.
No, it's a stark reminder of how public narratives, especially on social media, can just outpace reality or even redefine it.
Yeah, the story others tell about you can become more powerful than the one you're actually living.
The insight here maybe is that in this hyper-connected age, true self-discovery sometimes means pushing back against that external narrative, grounding yourself in your own truth, even when the internet is shipping you with the guy you just covered in flour.
Camila's feelings afterwards are just a total mess, aren't they? Embarrassment, irritation.
But also that strange kind of exhilaration.
And then she feels him watching her, that prickling sensation. Mateo, across the street, eyes still fixed on her, even with his polished girlfriend right there.
And her wolf stirs. Significantly, in a way that had nothing to do with territorial instincts and everything to do with something more primal.
Okay, so what do we take away from this massive turning point? A public flower fight becomes a viral sensation, kicking off a public love story before Camila even knows what's happening.
It really highlights the power of public perception, how it can shape personal destinies, for better or worse.
And connects to that idea of external events being catalysts for internal change.
Exactly. Her wolf, her primal, authentic self, recognizes something in Mateo that her human mind, clouded by old grudges and current anxieties, hasn't processed yet.
It sets up that classic conflict, surface perception versus deeper, undeniable truths.
Suggesting that sometimes our instincts, our wolf, leads us where our rational minds are still reluctant to go. #3. a business arrangement with unexpected sparks.
Okay, so Mateo, fresh off his flour-dusted viral fame, he shows up at Camila's bakery again.
Not with another dry cleaning bill, I hope.
No, with a proposition. Even more shocking, actually.
Oh.
He explains Connect Me. It's not just some generic tech bro hub. He says it's a tech hub, specifically designed to help traditional businesses adapt to the changing market without losing their identity.
Interesting angle.
He even frames it as his small rebellion against California PAC expectations. Wants to bring what he learned back here where it matters, to Miami.
Okay, so he's positioning himself differently than she assumed, but then comes the fake dating trope, grounded in some very practical motivations for him, right?
Very practical, almost corporate, like you said. He reveals his ex, Sophia, thinks he's trying to win her back, and he needs California PAC connections for his business.
But his real motivation, he claims,
is to prove her wrong, show her I don't need her or her PAC to be successful, that I'm better off here in Miami with my own kind.
which contrasts so sharply with Camila's reasons for potentially agreeing, right? Hers are about survival, legacy. His are about independence, proving himself.
It's a fascinating mix. Deep-seated desire for independence, proving himself to Sophia, maybe to himself too, and that's when he drops the bombshell.
The completely insane proposal.
Camila, be my fake girlfriend.
Just a simple business arrangement.
For 3 months, to establish credibility, secure business partnerships, make it clear to Sophia I'm rooted in Miami.
And Camila's reaction.
Laughter.
Yeah.
Full-blown, bent at the waist, tears in her eyes, laughter. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
And yet, he's dead serious.
Totally. He even shows her texts from Sophia V, proving Sophia's manipulative nature. Stuff like, Miami girls are fun distractions, but you'll come back to California where the real power is.
Ouch. That definitely adds weight to his story. But it raises that big question, doesn't it? Can a relationship built on pretense, even with practical goals, ever lead to something genuine? Or is it just flawed from the start?
For him, it's a calculated move. For her, it becomes this desperate gamble to save her family's legacy. It's this weird intersection of self-interest and survival.
So we have this fake relationship driven by desperation on one side, independence on the other. Classic setup, but layered with pack dynamics, family expectations, the threat to the bakery.
The stakes are incredibly high for both of them, pushing them into this really uncomfortable alliance.
And Camila naturally sets rules.
Oh, yes. Meticulous rules.
Tell me about them. They're revealing, I bet.
Totally. 3 months. Standard dating behavior, just with an end date and physical boundaries. Specifics like maximum 3 kisses per public appearance.
Okay, very specific. And the big one.
No shifting in front of each other, because it's too intimate, deeply personal for wolves.
Wow. That rule is fascinating. Trying to compartmentalize this innate part of their being, maybe reflecting that human tendency to control what feels wild or unpredictable in a relationship, especially one starting like this.
Makes sense. And she adds one crucial condition.
Which is,
Mateo has to help with the actual baking, especially for the pre-opening bake-off.
testing his commitment to her world, seeing if he genuinely respects what she values.
Yeah.
Smart.
But then the rules start getting blurry almost immediately.
The practice kiss.
Yep. During a stakeholders meeting, supposedly to be convincing, Camila's internal reaction is instant and intense. It started slowly, then intensified, then felt blissfully right. The realization of just how right it felt jolts her back.
And Mateo's assessment.
Convincing, but you know there's more behind that.
Oh, the irony is delicious. What's meant to be a performance immediately reveals this genuine, undeniable chemistry. It just bypasses their whole arrangement.
And Camila's wolf. It's described as restless, intrigued by Mateo in a way that was both alarming and confusing.
The internal struggle kicks in, especially knowing that wolves made it for life.
She knows she's playing with fire. Very attractive, expensive suit wearing, surprisingly good at kissing fire.
It perfectly highlights that tension, doesn't it? Rational decision-making versus instinctual pull. The mind sets boundaries, but the heart and the wolf have other plans.
And just when her head is spinning from all this unexpected chemistry.
Enter Abuela Gloria. Again, the wise matriarch.
With her endorsement, albeit with a knowing wink. I always thought he liked you, she says. Adds that young boys often show affection through such nonsense, like pulling hair, maybe.
Or maybe defending her.
Exactly. Gloria reveals this crucial bit of history. Mateo used to defend Camila, dumped water on bullies teasing her, even gave Gloria his mother's precious churro recipe to keep safe.
Wow. That reframes everything.
Totally shifts Camila's perception, shows that his arrogant facade might have always hidden this deeper protective instinct, rooted way back in their childhood.
And then Gloria drops that wisdom bomb.
Sometimes the wolf chooses before the heart understands.
That is such a beautiful and profound piece of ancestral wisdom. It suggests these deep connections, especially for wolves, aren't confined by human rules or timelines.
It's like a primal recognition that bypasses conscious thought.
The heart might be slow, clouded by pride or old hurts, but the wolf knows. It challenges the idea that love is purely rational choice, suggests that this fated, predestined element is at play.
Okay, so the fake relationship is officially on, and with it, the bakery renovation begins.
Chaos ensues, I imagine.
That's total chaos. Pandaluna becomes unrecognizable, plastic sheets everywhere, display cases removed, contractors swarming.
And Camila sees paint samples.
Miami sky, turquoise. She's horrified. It's so different from her beloved, faded cornflower tradition.
But Mateo, the practical one,
Cuts right through it. It's both now. Simple as that.
that statement, "it's both now," feels really significant, doesn't it? It encapsulates that challenge, but also the opportunity of blending tradition with modernity,
It's not about replacing the old.
but integrating the new.
Mhm.
Acknowledging that progress doesn't have to mean erasing the past, it suggests he actually gets what home means to Camila. It's living, evolving, not a static museum piece.
Yeah, it raises that question. How do these physical changes reflect deeper emotional shifts? Can transforming a space actually catalyze personal growth?
It seems like it here, because we see their collaboration growing.
Mateo gets flour dusted, he's troubleshooting app issues, charming customers, surprisingly good at the bakery stuff.
And Camila finds herself enjoying the chaos, smiling a real unguarded smile.
It's in those shared moments, right? Getting their hands dirty together. That's when the real connection starts to solidify, chipping away at the fake arrangement.
And then comes that pivotal moment, the gift.
The vintage display case. Oh, that was good.
He found it from an old bakery that closed back in the 60s. Exactly the right style and period to match the bakery's original fixtures.
That gesture just floors Camila. It shows he really understands, really respects her traditions. It's not superficial.
No, it's profound. And they placed the first batch of opening day cinnamon rolls in it together. For good luck. Their hands entwining.
That case isn't just an antique, is it?
No, it's like a tangible bridge between her past and her potential future. A future Mateo is actively helping her build, showing he truly values her legacy.
So what's the big takeaway here? The bakery renovation is like a living metaphor for their relationship.
Blending old and new, tradition and innovation, just like their lives are starting to intertwine.
It's a powerful symbol of their evolving partnership, professional and personal. Proving respect for heritage can coexist with a vision for the future.
Yeah, the whole process forces them into this shared space of creating, problem solving. It dismantles the pretense, brick by metaphorical brick.
Matea's ability to appreciate and even contribute to her traditional world, shown by that display case, it shows a real willingness to integrate, not just dominate or change things.
It deepens that insight, I think, that true collaboration isn't just about compromise. It's about finding a shared vision that honors both distinct identities, weaving them into something stronger, more beautiful.
And as the renovation dust settles, or maybe while it's still flying, we get to the Corazon Descubierto and the Midnight Revelations.
Right, they're working super late on the new menu, exhausted.
But there's this comfortable silence between them, shared exhaustion. They start reminiscing about childhood antics.
That quiet intimacy, born from shared work and tiredness, it just allows for vulnerability, doesn't it?
Definitely. And Mateo makes this unexpected confession about why he really left Miami.
The fight with his parents before they died, his desire to make his own path in California versus his mother's wish for him to stay connected to the pack.
It reveals this shared understanding, maybe, of deep-seated desires and the weight of expectations. His quiet statement, "Dreams matter. They have a way of finding you eventually."
It's a moment of raw emotional honesty. Strips away that billionaire tech guy persona.
And then things get really interesting. And maybe a bit weird in the best way.
The unintentional sleep shift.
Yes. Camila wakes up curled against Mateo's chest, both shifted into their wolves in their sleep, intertwined like lovers.
Oh, okay.
The intimacy of that moment just hits them hard. This wasn't part of their arrangement. This wasn't a performance.
It's raw, unplanned, incredibly powerful. Shatters whatever pretense was left.
It feels like a crucial moment of authentic connection.
Absolutely. It's their wolves, their deepest, most instinctual selves, recognizing and responding to each other beyond any conscious human rules or boundaries.
It bypasses everything they'd constructed, makes the connection undeniable.
It really underscores that truth, doesn't it? Sometimes our subconscious knows and accepts what our conscious mind is still wrestling with.
And speaking of truths coming out, Then we get the pastries.
Oh, the truth pastries. Brilliant.
Camila's stress baking leads her to create corazón descubierto, discovered heart pastries, using a secret family spice blend from her grandmother.
And these pastries, they encourage honesty.
And occasionally hiccups, which is just perfect.
It's like the universe, or maybe just Morales family magic, is conspiring to force them to confront their true feelings, a whimsical but potent nudge towards honesty.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture, these pastries are like an externalization of internal truths.
Yeah, it speaks to that idea that sometimes we need an external catalyst, however magical, to articulate what our hearts already know. But our minds are maybe too scared or too proud to admit.
It's a narrative device that perfectly bridges the magical parts of their world with the very human struggle of expressing deep emotions.
And it raises that question again. How does truth ultimately get revealed? Whether it's through magical pastries or raw vulnerability like the sleep shift.
Truth finds a way out, one way or another. #tag V. External pressures and internal doubts.
Okay, so things seem to be getting clearer, deeper between Camila and Mateo.
Right when the external antagonist arrives to stir things up.
Of course, perfect timing. Enter Sophia, Mateo's ex.
She appears at a full moon run, radiating that kind of confidence that came from always being the most beautiful person in any room.
And immediately asserts this possessiveness over Mateo that just screams trouble.
Sophia really embodies those external pressures, doesn't she? Threatening both Camila's personal life and her community.
Totally. Her confrontation with Camila is just brutal and calculating. Mateo seems to think there's something between you two. I'd like to know if you think it's real.
So direct. And then she claims she's reconsidering our breakup now that his business is taking off, now that my father's ready to back his expansion plans.
Her offer of connections and power is such a stark contrast to the genuine connection Camila and Mateo are building. Sophia represents this world where relationships are purely transactional.
A direct challenge to the organic bond forming between them.
And then Sophia drops that little detail, casually mentioning she was tracking Mateo.
Via an app on his phone, revealed his location at the beach.
That creates instant suspicion, deep hurt for Camila. It feeds right into her insecurities about the fake nature of their arrangement.
A pretense is now being weaponized against her.
Yeah, that tracking app detail, even if Mateo didn't know about it, feels like a betrayal of trust. It fuels Camila's doubt, makes her question everything, pushes her into this spiral.
And then the plot thickens even more with the gentrification connection.
Right. Tia Lucia, the investigator of the family.
She finds out the California developers, Nexus Capital Partners, are connected to Sophia's family.
Boom. There it is. Linking the personal drama directly with the broader community threat. The fight for the bakery is the fight for Little Havana.
It really forces that question. How do you navigate loyalty to your community, your personal integrity, when faced with these ethically compromised opportunities or threats? Who and what are you really fighting for?
So Sophia isn't just a love rival. She's tied to the corporate forces threatening Camila's entire world. It's a powerful intersection of personal and societal conflict.
And the immediate fallout for Camila is devastating.
Understandably. She withdraws completely, feels stupid, convinced it was fake, just an arrangement.
And the stress baking kicks into high gear, enough bread to feed the entire pack for a week.
A clear sign of her emotional turmoil. She becomes unreachable. Phone off.
It just underscores the destructive power of assumptions, of wounded pride in relationships. Even strong connections are fragile when doubt creeps in.
But Abuela Gloria, again.
Right on time, her supernatural sixth sense brings her to the bakery during a storm.
Finds Camila, floor dust, red-eyed, and clearly exhausted.
And Gloria just cuts through all the defenses. No messing around.
Those blunt, probing questions. Why your eyes keep shifting gold when you say his name? And why your apartment smells of distressed wolf?
Whoa. She's forcing Camila to confront her true feelings, pushing past that protective shell.
Gloria's role is so critical here, not just comforting, but strategic, pushing for self-awareness, for confrontation, refusing to let Camila hide.
And it works. Camila breaks down, finally confesses, I think I'm in love with Mateo.
And Gloria's reaction, basically, duh.
Pretty much. Of course you are, mija. Your wolf has known it for months. Your heart has known it since the full moon run, at least. Only your pride and fear have kept you from admitting it.
What powerful validation, reinforcing that her true feelings were always there, just buried.
But Gloria doesn't just leave it there. She follows up with that gentle but firm rebuke.
The push for communication. Have you asked him directly? Heard his explanation?
Right. For the photos, the text messages Sophia mentioned. And Camila is ashamed? No. That's a huge moment of self-awareness.
Acknowledging her own role in the misunderstanding. It's a stark reminder, isn't it? Sometimes the biggest obstacles are the ones we build ourselves out of fear and assumption.
Instead of just talking.
Exactly. It underscores how much responsibility we have to seek clarity, even if facing the truth might be painful.
And Gloria, ever the strategist, immediately thinks of the pastries again.
Takes a corazon descubierto for Tia Lucia, hinting at further strategic deployment.
The magical element becomes a tool for proactive, strategic truth-telling, aligning magic with practicality.
And Camila, in that moment of clarity, names her creation. Corazon descubierto, discovered heart. Perfect.
Okay, so the storm's raging outside, but inside Little Havana, a different kind of storm is brewing, a rallying cry.
Led by the matriarchs, of course, Tia Lucia makes a dramatic early morning entrance.
Confirming she and Gloria had been waiting rather impatiently for you both to figure it out. Love that.
And then she drops another bombshell, adding this layer of destiny to it all.
What's that?
She confirms Mateo's wolf has recognized Camila as his mate.
Whoa. Okay, that definitely shifts things. Takes it beyond just feelings into something more fated.
And it underlines the strategic brilliance of these women. They weren't just waiting, they were working.
Tia Lucia reveals the financial records she's been compiling for months.
Showing the developers, Nexus Capital Partners, Sophia's family, are targeting the entire block, not just the bakery.
That transforms everything, doesn't it? From a personal struggle, maybe a romance?
Into a full-blown story of community empowerment. The personal struggle mirrors and catalyzes this collective uprising.
And Tia Lucia has the strategy ready. We don't need to outspend them, we just need to outsmart them. Brilliant.
The community meeting is called Noon, and Camila's instructions.
Bring pastries. As many corazon descubierto as you can make.
The baking ingredients are officially weaponized for truth and unity.
It's such a fantastic blend of the magical elements with very real-world stakes, eliciting the humble pastry into a tool of resistance.
It really makes you think, how can local traditions, community bonds, become powerful tools against these big corporate forces?
The truth pastries aren't just whimsical. They're a symbol of their unique cultural heritage being used strategically for the collective good.
And we see the impact immediately at the meeting. Santos, the landlord,
Eats a pastry and suddenly confesses, saying things I've thought but never spoke aloud, acknowledging the bakery is more than just a business, it's the heart of something larger.
and he proposes the bakery's repair becomes their first community project. That's a profound shift. From individual despair to collective action sparked by a pastry.
So the personal drama just explodes into this community uprising. The pack, fueled by pastries and matriarchal strategy, rallies around Pandaluna, ready to fight.
And then Mateo arrives.
Right on cue. Silhouetted in the doorway like he'd choreographed his entrance for maximum dramatic effect.
But looking completely disheveled, like he'd been dragged through a hedge backward, showing his vulnerability, his distress after Camila pulling away.
And Tia Lucia, the puppet master,
Sees her moment, smoothly guides him, protesting, to the refreshment table.
and presses a corazon descubierto into his hand.
It's the moment of truth. Literally. A delightful, chaotic twist on the romantic climax.
He bites into it, his expression shifts. Irritation, surprise, then something deeper, more intense.
And then the hiccups start.
And the declaration. I've been wanting to tell you, Hick, how I feel for weeks.
In front of the entire pack, who are witnessing this chaotic, hilarious, but incredible heartfelt public confession.
Elaine is probably actually selling tickets at this point.
It's pure comedic gold, but with huge emotional resonance.
So connecting this to the bigger picture, it's this powerful climax fusing the personal and the public.
It suggests genuine connection thrives, not despite vulnerabilities, but often because of them. And that true love might just need a public acknowledgement, however embarrassing.
And Camila's realization is key, right? The pastry doesn't create feelings, it just helps bring hidden truths to the surface.
Exactly. His words were already in your heart. The pastry just gave you the courage to say it out loud.
It reinforces that authentic self-expression, even with magical hiccups, is crucial for deep bonds.
It really raises that question for our modern age of perfectly curated online personas.
How important is it to publicly declare and embrace our true feelings, even the messy, hiccuping ones? It's a real testament to raw, unfiltered honesty.
Okay, so we've had the grand, flower-dusted, hiccup-filled declaration. What's the ultimate takeaway?
Well, Mateo's truth-fueled confession wasn't just about his feelings for Camila. It was about his commitment to Little Havana, showing his true colors.
He reveals his master plan, how he dealt with Nexus Capital Partners, Sophia's family firm,
She didn't just roll over, he blackmailed them.
into making a substantial tax-deductible donation to our newly formed Historical Preservation Fund.
In exchange for exclusive rights to purchase the entire block, meaning the neighborhood will stay in local hands. He saved it.
It's a complete subversion of the initial conflict, isn't it? Mateo, the perceived threat, the tech billionaire tied to California gentrification. He becomes the key player in preserving the community.
And he does it using those very California connections he was trying to escape, but redirecting them for communal good.
His quiet statement to Camila, Pandaluna will remain the heart of it all exactly as it should be, shows his genuine dedication, his understanding of her world.
It really makes you ponder that question. How can opposing forces, perceived adversaries, when properly motivated and guided, become the most effective agents for positive change, turning threats into opportunities?
It's a powerful narrative of unexpected alliances for a common good, a real act of love for Camila and for the community.
And with that truth out, Camila finally fully acknowledges her love for him in all his contradictory glory.
I love you, Mateo Rios, wolf and human both, with your expensive suits and your childhood pranks and your ridiculous hiccups and your enormous heart that somehow sees value in old bakeries and stubborn bakers. Great line.
Isn't it? And their first truly uninhibited kiss seals the deal, cementing a bond that started in chaos and flower, destined for something real.
So the story isn't just a romance, it's about this complete integration. Personal lives, professional goals, community vision.
The bakery's restoration, with the pack pitching in, symbolizes that unity. And Camila and Mateo finding those quiet moments amidst the chaos, solidifying their bond.
It's a truly holistic happy ending, showing how individual destinies are intertwined with the community's fate and how shared purpose deepens personal connection.
And the future they're building isn't just bright. It's full of growth, forgiveness, blending legacies.
Like Camila's encounter with Valyria at the renovated bakery.
Yeah, Valyria shows genuine regret, acknowledges their real bond. I can feel it. It's real.
And Camila offers coffee, the step towards healing that deep friendship. It shows incredible maturity, modeling forgiveness.
It underscores that true transformation isn't just about personal happiness, but also mending past hurts. Recognizing relationships are complex, sometimes need difficult repair. It's ongoing work.
And looking ahead, they're already talking baby names.
Eduardo Rafael Rios Morales, after both their fathers, honoring the combined heritage right there.
And Abuela Gloria, naturally, already knows about the pregnancy with her supernatural sixth sense. Even knows the baby's food preferences, still objecting to nutmeg.
It's such a delightful touch, weaving magic into the everyday domesticity. It suggests a future where both human and wolf traditions flourish together.
And that really speaks to the conclusion's powerful message about synthesis. Tradition and innovation blended.
Like the Sunday dinners at Gloria's, a new tradition for their unlikely family unit. Old ways blending with new connections. Mateo's business sense, Tia Lutia's strategy.
Perfectly symbolized by that anniversary gift for Gloria and Tia Lucia.
The handcrafted leather-bound book of combined family recipes, Morales and Rios, including Camila's Corazon Descubierto and Mateo's tentative experiments.
And that dedication inside sums it all up beautifully. For the women who preserved our past and conspired for our future.
With love and gratitude for showing us that the best recipes combine tradition with innovation, patience with passion, and family with future. Wow.
It really nails it. And Mateo's gift to Camila reinforces that theme too.
The charm bracelet, silver, delicate, with a wolf charm, a rolling pin.
And the lopsided pastry ring from his proposal. With room for more charms, signifying their story is still unfolding, their shared life continuing to grow.
So the combined recipe book, the charm bracelet, they symbolize weaving together their individual histories into this shared future.
It's a beautiful metaphor for how legacies are built, not by rigidly sticking to the past, but by integrating new elements while honoring what came before. It raises that final question for all of us, doesn't it?
How do we honor our past while bravely stepping into the future? Creating something new, something stronger than before.
The ending isn't just happily ever after. It's this vibrant picture of growth, forgiveness, the beautiful blending of different lives, different legacies.
It really drives home that idea that some connections feel destined, maybe, and the journey, however messy and flower-dusted,
makes the destination all more meaningful, richer. Hashtag tag outro.
So we've journeyed with Camila from that chaotic 5:30 a.m. crisis through a fake relationship born of desperation, complicated by viral fame,
to a genuine love that didn't just transform her life, but actually saved her community.
We've seen the raw power of truth, literal truth, in those amazing Corazon Descubierto pastries.
And metaphorical truth, as characters dared to confront their real feelings, their deepest instincts, their wolf selves.
We explored the immense strength found in family and pack bonds, how tradition and intergenerational wisdom can be this incredible lifeline against modern challenges like gentrification.
And we witnessed that beautiful alchemy. Tradition and innovation, proving the old and new can absolutely coexist, thrive together, creating something stronger, more resilient.
And of course, the delightful, often hilarious journey of enemies becoming partners in every sense.
It's a great reminder, isn't it? That sometimes the most unexpected ingredients, a childhood nemesis, a spontaneous flower fight, even a magical hiccuping pastry,
Can come together to create the perfect recipe for a lifetime. This story shows us that sometimes the fake can lead to the most profoundly real connections.
and that true love often means embracing the chaos, the vulnerability, maybe even a dash of the extraordinary.
It's a powerful narrative about finding your true path, individually and collectively, how the deepest connections often emerge from the most unlikely, most challenging circumstances.
A real testament to the idea that our lives are this blend of destiny and choice, all woven together by threads of community and courage.
So the next time you encounter a challenge that feels insurmountable, or maybe a relationship that starts with a bit of friction, remember Camila and Mateo.
Remember the power of a single pastry to reveal truth, the strategic brilliance of grandmothers.
And the way the universe sometimes conspires to bring even the most unlikely ingredients together for that perfect recipe.
So here's a final thought for you to chew on. What truth might be waiting to be discovered in your own life, if only you dared to bake it?
And maybe share it with the world, hiccups and all.